Well, we left off with Justin Danoff as we were talking about the takeover of the American corporation. And now we want to get into some of the things that we can do to take our companies back. I mean, these are the companies that provide the products, the goods and services that we use, the companies that we work for, the companies that we've invested in, either through our pension or an index fund or something. They've got our money and they're taking America really a really strange, bad direction, at least for most people. We've done surveys. John McLaughlin did a survey for us and found that the investor doesn't want ESG. They want liberty, security, and values, Western civilization values. Let's talk about what are some solutions. How do we take this back?
Sure. So first I want to address the knee-jerk reaction of conservatives, because I see it all over my social media feeds, and I think you probably do too. Whenever a company takes a woke action, like you talked about with Coca-Cola telling their own employees to be less white. By the way, you didn't mention in another slide, they also said don't appropriate other cultures. So I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to get less white without appropriating another culture. But that just shows the farce of all of this, right? The knee-jerk reaction is I'm done. I'm never going to have another Coke again. Nike signs Colin Kaepernick to like an 8-figure deal. He's a cop hater. He's a repugnant person. Oh, I'm done with Nike, never going to buy them again. Well, guess what? I don't remember the Nike boycott going so well. There is no boycott of Coke right now. So the knee-jerk reaction to remove yourself from the situation and never use the product again, it's never worked, so I don't think it's going to work this next time. So, try and dispel yourself of that idea that you're going to be able to run the best boycott ever, because no conservative boycotts ever happened. That's the first notion. So what do we do instead? Instead, it's a single word. It's engage. It's engage. And if I go back to the boycott idea, the left doesn't boycott either. When they see a company doing something they don't like, they engage more. So again, they're the ones filing all the shareholder resolutions trying to move companies further to the left. They're using their investing dollars, again, to try and achieve a social, political, or policy result.
Well, can you define, just to interrupt you, define a shareholder resolution, what it is, what it looks like, how you do it, and what you can do about it?
Sure. So as an investor at publicly traded companies, every year, publicly traded companies have to hold an annual shareholder meeting. And at that meeting, there's votes for the board members, there's votes on proposals that the company puts forward, and then there's votes on proposals that the investors put forward. And this is where, even if you aren't, comfortable being the activist filing a resolution, that's okay. Why don't you vote on them though? Right? Apple held their shareholder meeting, February 23rd this year. I think Al Gore, who sits on that board, got about 99% of the vote. Were conservatives voting, or did they not show up? What we have at annual shareholder meetings is the equivalent of a red state election that goes blue every single year because the conservatives couldn't be bothered to show up and vote. So at the National Center, at the Free Enterprise Project, we have put together what we call the Investor Value Voter Guide. And this is a toolkit that's free. It's available, come online, nationalcenter.org, and it teaches people of faith and conservative investors how these proxies work and how you can vote your values. And it shows the good resolutions, the handful of good ones that we can put forward that help the culture,